Sean Carter is worse.
Uh-oh. Oh, man.
He's smarter. He's patient. He's not sloppy. This been lining up people he calls friends and stepping to the side while they get hit by the guillotine for 30 years.
You know, at the end of the day, like, Puffy is Puffy. I mean, you know, it's all about what he can do, what he can give to people. That's it. Puffy it's all about himself a lot of times.
Hold on to your hat, because lil'kim and Jaguar Wright are dropping bombshells left and right. The tea is piping hot, and they're spilling it all over Diddy and Jay Z, alleging that the rappers teamed up to take out the Notorious B.I.G. We've been in the dark about Tupac and Biggie's deaths for over 25 years, but it looks like we might finally be getting some answers thanks to lil'kim's jaw-dropping revelations. Now, we've all heard the rumors about Diddy allegedly having a hand in Biggie's demise to cash in on the tragedy. But according to Jaguar and lil'kim, Diddy isn't the only one raking in the dough from Biggie's passing. Jay Z allegedly made tens of millions off it too. And get this, there have been whispers for years about Jay Z and Diddy dabbling in some shady dealings. Now it seems like we've got some serious ammunition to bring them to task. lil'kim's not just blowing smoke either. She's brought alleged proof of their actions and laid out exactly why she believes they allegedly took out Biggie. Buckle up, because this ride's about to get wild. But why spill the tea now, after all these years? And did Diddy allegedly turn a blind eye to Biggie mistreating lil'kim? We're diving headfirst into this scandal, so grab your popcorn and get ready for the juiciest gossip of the year. What about outside of the business? You two actually come into peace. At this point, I would say never. Okay? At this point, I would say never. You know, only God directs my life, so I can't say if I would ever speak to him in the future, but at this point, no. All right, buckle up, folks, because lil'kim just dropped some bombshells that'll make your jaw hit the floor. We're talking about Diddy and Jay Z here, and trust me, you're going to want to hear this. Over the past few months, we've been drowning in gossip about these two moguls, from rumors about them pulling strings in Hollywood to allegedly plotting against their rivals, covering up each other's tracks, and even some dark accusations involving young women. You name it, we've heard it. But according to lil'kim, we've barely scratched the surface. She's claiming that Diddy and Jay Z cooked up a scheme to take out Biggie Smalls because he was getting in their way. Can you believe it? Suddenly, a lot of things start to click. No wonder lil'kim has been holding onto that grudge against Diddy for so long, swearing she'll never forgive him. It's like the missing puzzle piece just fell into place. At this point, no, I have not seen a single change in him, you know. I've seen a bunch of talk and a bunch of contradiction. So, no, never. Back then, many of us just assumed lil'kim was feeling some type of way because Diddy was cozying up to her rival Nicki Minaj, even giving her the nod of approval. People brushed it off as petty jealousy, telling her to grow up. But lil'kim always denied it, and it turns out she had a deeper bone to pick. There was this old audio clip that surfaced, dating back to before Diddy ever teamed up with Nicki. In it, lil'kim straight up called him out for being disloyal and self-centered. So much for assumptions, huh? You know, at the end of the day, like, Puffy is Puffy. He will never. He will. I mean, you know, it's all about what he can do, what he can get from people. That's Puffy it's all about himself a lot of the time. Now she's laying it all out, exposing Diddy for ignoring the fact that she was in a DV relationship while she was involved with Biggie Smalls. And guess what? Diddy apparently did nothing to help her out of that mess. But wait, it gets even juicier. She's dropping bombs about Diddy and Jay Z allegedly scheming to take out Biggie and Tupac for their own gain. Let's start with her accusations about Diddy turning a blind eye to Biggie's mistreatment of her. Honestly, it's not that shocking considering what we've come to learn about Diddy. Who knows, he might have been pulling the same crap with other women, allegedly.
No.
Reconciling. No?
Next question.
Never be a Junior Mafia album.
Never.
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 Okay. At all.
Never.
Okay. Are you sure now? Okay.
Never.
What about outside of the business? You two actually coming to peace?
At this point, I would say never.
Okay.
At this point, I would say never. You know, only God directs my life, so I can't say if I would ever speak to him in a way future. But at this point, no.
Never.
I have not seen a single change in him. You know, I've seen a bunch of talk and a bunch of contradictions, so no.
For those not in the loop, let's rewind a bit. Biggie, who was married to Faith Evans, was also getting cozy with lil'kim on the side. And guess what? Diddy knew all about this tangled web, but he kept his lips sealed, even though Faith was part of his Bad Boy Records crew. Talk about drama, right? It's like a soap opera in the hip-hop world, with everyone sleeping with everyone else. But hold on to your seats, because it gets even messier. While lil'kim was wrapped up in this affair, Biggie wasn't exactly treating her like a queen. I already knew the kind of relationship that Biggie and I had, and I knew that having a child was something that couldn't take place. Talk about a recipe for chaos. Biggie wasn't exactly committed to just one woman. While juggling lil'kim and Faith, he was also sneaking around with other ladies. Trust me, lil'kim wasn't about to turn a blind eye to it. She was burning with jealousy, ready to throw down with anyone who dared to get cozy with her man, or, well, her man that wasn't exactly her man. But here's where things take a dark turn. When lil'kim's jealousy boiled over, it sometimes ended in physical altercations with Biggie himself. Even his road manager couldn't keep quiet about it, spilling the tea on how Biggie wasn't shy about using his fists when things got heated. Picture this, lil'kim, furious as hell, going head-to-head with Biggie's other flings, all while he's in the middle, trying to keep the peace. Take, for instance, that infamous studio showdown. Biggie decided to invite his other side pieces over, and lil'kim, well, let's just say she didn't take too kindly to the idea. Things escalated real quick, with lil'kim throwing hands and making it clear she wasn't one to mess with. It's like a scene straight out of a drama series, but sadly, this was all too real for them. Biggie wasn't pleased with this, and according to the manager, when Big came, it got even worse. He was choking Kim in the studio elevator. That was the first time I literally saw them fighting, the manager said. D-Rock was in the elevator with them, trying to break it up. I used to tell her, come on, you have to let this go. Sometimes a man can kill your self-esteem, and when he got mad with her, he would do that. Eventually, Faith Evans found out about the affair, and she was furious because she couldn't believe that Biggie and lil'kim would betray her like that. I didn't know anything about them for, this is probably at least a year and a half after. You know, we were together, so I didn't know anything about them. I didn't even think anything about them, to be quite honest. Despite not catching wind of a full-blown affair unfolding right under her nose, Faith couldn't ignore the roller coaster ride that was Biggie's behavior towards lil'kim. One moment, he'd be all in, showering her with affection, and the next, he'd be distant as ice. Even Faith couldn't overlook how odd it all seemed. In her memoir, she spilled the tea on Biggie's harsh treatment of Kim. He'd unleash his fury, shouting at her and tossing threats around, even going as far as to threaten her career by kicking her out of Junior Mafia. It was downright brutal, no two ways about it, she said. I once heard him screaming at her at his mother's house, Faith recounted. Who do you think you are? He screamed. I'll go get Inga right now. While Kim cried, Big kept yelling at her, we don't need you for this group. Inga would be happy to be down. You ain't special, he said. I will replace you with the quickness. Don't forget that. For those who don't know, Inga is Foxy Brown. What makes this situation especially messy is that Foxy Brown and lil'kim were in a very fierce competition at the time. So, Biggie throwing this in lil'kim's face was messed up on so many levels.